when you were going through, through school, college or whatever, like, did you have a strong sense of like, these are the things that I'm good at? Or were you just like, just living it and you didn't really think too much about it?
So I think I went to school for business economics. I learned a lot about how organizations work, what makes successful businesses. And so I always knew I was going to work in that sort of area. But of course, as a university student, you're desperate for a part-time job. And mine just happened to be in retail. And I loved it. I loved like chatting to people. I loved having, being on a team. I really liked our like combined purpose of having a goal. And I really connected with the brand at an early age when I was in university. So I think that just sort of was a natural progression for me. The most sort of influential and impactful person at the early stages of my career would have been an L&D manager or an L&D practitioner,
because they were learning and development.
Learning and development. They were really engaging. They really sold me the Kool-Aid, I drank it and I was like all in. And I thought they were a really amazing example of how to communicate to others, how to engage people. And it was just, a really good experience. I would say once I graduated, my jobs varied in terms of level of job satisfaction and how valued I felt as an employee, which is why eventually working in HR, and I'll say this a million times to everyone who will listen, the purpose of my role is to improve the working world so that my kids have a better experience entering the job market than I did. Because I think for a lot of us, especially back in the early 2000s, there was a lot of stuff going on in organizations, in retail environments it was not okay. So, I think working in a position where I have influence to help change that for people, fairer work practices, is really important to me. Yeah.
So CIPD is the professional body for the individuals working in HR, talent, L&D roles across the world.
So, I mean, we are a global organization, and we basically set the standards for what good working practices look like. And for me, it's about champion those good working practices. We have something called the profession map, which helps people in all different situations. It can, be a gauge to help you progress in your career. It can be a career pathway. It can set good standards of best practice for your organization. And we utilize that all the time in conversations just to, measure where people are being successful and where they have opportunities. And I just think having those sets of standards to say, this is okay, this is good behavior and this is behavior that needs to change. Like that would have been really useful for me early on in my career, just being able to say leadership skills sets are not where they need to be. This is not the type of behavior we need to see in the organization, but you don't have those skills all the time early on. So that's why I love my job, is because I am talking to employers about how we can create more, just better work practices for their people.
Yeah. And you're obviously doing that through your members. There are a lot of small businesses, micro businesses that don't have an L&D or HR professional, but yet there are so many of the jobs across our economy. So, like, how does someone in a micro business, manage well when they don't have an HR qualification? They're not a member of CIPD. Like, how does that?
Or they don't even have like an HR person. I mean, a lot of SMEs that I work with in Northern Ireland will be outsourcing their HR function to an independent consultant. And CIPD obviously supports independent consultants who work in all different sectors and industry to help them go in and set good standards of best practice. But I would say for those organizations who can't even afford that outsourcing, like there is a lot of CIPD content that's free that you can use to build leadership skills. I mean, look, there's content out on the internet everywhere that can help you do this. But I think The first person that comes to mind is Carol Fitzsimon. She's the chief exec at Young Enterprise Northern Ireland. She said, one of the first times I met her, she said, you don't have to work in HR to be a people professional. And she leads with that example in her organization where she doesn't have a dedicated HR person, but everyone in her team knows how to have those leadership skill sets to manage people properly so that they can thrive in their roles. And I think that's really important, just to have those core behaviors and that core knowledge to have a positive impact.